Classic.
Wild again, gate dancer, Sargal in between them. Ferdinand has the lead. Alijiba, up by return.
Sunday silence, a threatening presence on the outside.
AP Indy is finding his best stride. Here is our king, Cigar. Cigar makes his move.
Here comes the horse of Miguel who's flying in between horses.
This is unbelievable. Zenyatta, Zenyatta, Zenyatta.
A wild finish to the Classic.
The lane has won it ahead.
Courtland Simmons with you here at the CS Racing Report, and I'm in on the red eye like Lafitte Pinkai, and as Gary Seibel once said before the Kentucky Derby, so many choices, so little time. But we've got a little bit of a few minutes on our hands. Let's take a look at the three major or the three top races on the card, starting out with the Distaff. Everybody thinks it's a matchup between Monomoy Girl and Swiss Skydiver. I'm wondering once again, of course I have no doubts about, I'm not going to doubt Swiss Skydiver again. I think she'll run very, very well, but I have, as you can see the numbers there, the 10, the 8, the 9, and the 1 in your trifecta with Swiss Skydiver or Horologist, the number 4 Horologist or Swiss Skydiver filling out the try. And then if you guys, and a lot of you are, going to pick Monomoy Girl, it's the 5, the 10, Swiss Skydiver, it's the 5, the 10, the 2, and the 4. The 2, of course, being Harvest Moon, the 3-year-old, who's very, very interesting in here. So that's another way that you can go, and I'm pretty sure there's some other variables to the Distaff, but I like Monomoy Girl in this race over Swiss Skydiver and some of these others. I think the numbers are going to be a little different than what a lot of people expect. So that's the Distaff. Going to the turf. Now, this is going to be really interesting simply because you have the M&M show from Aidan O'Brien's barn. You have Magical, who was the runner-up to the incomparable Enable a couple years ago. People always said she wasn't as good at a mile and a half, that being Magical, but I think among her best races have been at the mile and a half in that aforementioned Breeders' Cup Turf and the Yorkshire Oaks the following summer. She hasn't gone a mile and a half this year, but she's been primed for it. The Champion Stakes run at the English Champions Day wasn't as good as expected, but this should set her up to run very, very well. She's definitely a horse you have to use. She's just all class, being by Galileo. Then her stablemate Mogul, also by that same stallion. He's an incredible horse. He was supposed to run in the Arc when Love defected in some of the other O'Brien runners, and I like his chances in here as well. The trip shouldn't be a problem, but interestingly enough, as much as I like Magical, I actually like another horse better, a horse that I thought should have run in the Arc after an impressive run in the Prix Vermeil. She's trained by the incomparable Dermot Weld, and her name is Tarnawa. I think she's the horse to beat, and as you can see from the numbers I'm giving you, she's my pick over Mogul, 3, 10, 6, that being Lord North out of John Gosden, trainer of Enable's barn, with Frankie Dettori, the 6, and then you have the 2 filling out the try as your alternative. You have United representing with Dick Mandela as the trainer, the number 7. So it's 3, 10, 6, 2, and then the 7 as an alternative 4th place. And then another way you could go could be Lord North, defeating Magical with the number 10 Mogul, and then the number 1 Arklow out of Brad Cox's barn. So those are a couple little alliterations that I have, but I'm looking at Tarnawa. She's the horse to beat. I think she's got enough turn of foot, but look for Mogul and Magical to run well. Then, last but not least, drum roll everyone, the big one, the Classic. Everyone's talked about, will Tiz the Law come back after losing as the heavy favorite in the Kentucky Derby? Will Tom's de Tot handle a track that, not so much the track, but the distance and the opposition after winning the Fayette Stakes in 2019? A lot of people, of course, thought the Whitney was a race in which he was compromised by the start against Improbable, who's won 3 straight grade 1s, 1 of 3 for Bob Baffert in here. And everyone's bandied about all their theories about who's going to win, but I'm going to basically shake things up and swing for the fences. I'm picking both of the 3-year-olds to win this race. I'm giving Authentic a slight edge over Tiz the Law because I believe he's going to be able to get out front. I really don't think anybody's going to really go out of their way to go after him. There will be a little more pressure, but I think he's primed to run well here, even though Baffert doesn't have a sterling record at Keeneland. Having said that, of course, he did win with American Pharoah, so that may be a good omen. I think Authentic's going to win this race. I've always said, minus the Haskell, that being a dumbfounding race, that he was going to always go further than a lot of people thought. I think he's going to win this race. I do think it could be a battle against Tiz the Law, or he's going to show out and streak away from these horses, or vice versa. Tiz the Law is going to do the same thing. I think these two horses are faster than everybody else, and I think that they're sitting on top of great races. The reason why I like Authentic is a little better is because I'm wondering if Tiz the Law, if there's a little bit of a curse. He's more, attuned and more proficient at the New York tracks than Keeneland, but he's trained brilliantly, and I think he's sitting on top of a big, big race. So those are my numbers as you see them there, Authentic or Tiz the Law. With the number 7, Global Campaign, surprising people, the number 8, Improbable, and then either the number 4, that would be Tom's the Tot, or the number 3, By My Standards, as your alternative 4th place pick. So those are my picks for the Classic. Bob Baffert's going to win a 4th Classic, but not with the horse that a lot of people may expect. It's going to be Improbable over Tiz the Law and the others. Could be Tiz the Law, though. So I'm looking at those 3-year-olds, but those are my picks for the Breeders' Cup. Distaff, Turf, and Classic. We'll certainly recap it right here at the CS Racing Report.